There are a number of hadith that it states that a number of Sahaba and the Prophet actually prayed that way. And I'm not trying to say that it's haram for you to do it. But I'm just making this point so that we can understand that there's one argument or one position is not any stronger than the other. And you'll see that inshallah. But what people usually refer to when they say all this evidence that indicates that you should pray with one hand over the other, they say they have reports of 18 of the Sahaba and 3 of the Tabi'een, or 2 of the Tabi'een, who prayed or reported praying with one hand over the other, or the Prophet praying that way. The scholars of hadith, when they relate this hadith, they say ruya an 18 sahabiyan, that has been related about 18 Sahaba and 3 of Tabi'een. This particular expression, related about, amongst the scholars of hadith, is called sigat al-tamrid, is a wording indicative of weakness. So they say that about a report when they know there's some type of weakness in the report. So when you look at books like Imam Shawkani's Nail al-Awtar, and then more recent scholars who've written on the subject like Mukhtar al-Dawdi, Shanqiti, that you find that every single report about that clasping one hand with another it has some type of weakness in it, except for 2. There are 2 of them that don't really have that, or really probably one of them, of the 2. And one of them is in Sahih Muslim, one of them is in Sahih Bukhari. Basically what I'm saying is, anytime you read a hadith and it says the Prophet prayed one hand over the other, unless it's in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim, it's weak. That's what I'm saying to you. And that's a well-established fact. One of them is in Sahih al-Bukhari, and in that particular narration, it says, كان الناس يؤمرون أن يضعوا أيمانهم على شمائلهم في الصلاة. That the people were ordered to place their right hands over their left hands in salah. Okay. See, the hadith doesn't say that the Prophet ordered them to do so. It didn't say that the Prophet did it. It just said the people were ordered to place their right hands over their left hands in salah. And it's not attributed, it's not even a statement of the Prophet. Who gave the order? We don't know who gave the order. So it's not decisive. A person can use this, okay, well, I believe that the Prophet gave the order. Okay, that's okay, go ahead, do it. There's no problem, because all the imams who support what's called qalb, placing one hand over the other, folding your hand over your forearms, they say it's sunnah in salah. None of them say it's obligatory to do that. It says it's sunnah. In the Shafi'i school, there's actually an opinion that says you can do either one. There's sunnah to do it this way, sunnah to do it that way also. You can do either one in the Shafi'i school. And that's why Ibn Abdullah, who is actually a Maliki scholar, he said, وَوَضْعُ الْيُمْنَى مِنَ الْيُسْرَى مِنْهُمَا أَوْ إِرْسَالُهُمَا كُلُّ ذَلِكَ سُنَّةٌ فِي الصَّلَاةِ. It said, in placing the right hand over the left, or letting them hang at the sides, each one of those practices is from the sunnah. That's what he said. So, and here's a scholar who memorized over 100,000 hadith with their change in narration. Yeah, Abdullah ibn Abdul Barr, Abu Umar. So you find the 2 hadiths. So the first hadith is in Sahih Bukhari. It doesn't explicitly say that the Prophet prayed that way, or that the Prophet ordered us to pray that way. Now the one in Sahih Muslim actually does say that the Prophet ﷺ, that he prayed while placing one hand over the other. But there are some defects, even those in the Sahih Imam Muslim. And we need to understand this too, that there are certain hadith in the Sahih Imam Bukhari and the Sahih Imam Muslim which the scholars have always criticized. In spite of the fact that we say overall, in general, Imam Bukhari's collection is all Sahih, and overall in general, Imam Muslim's collection is Sahih. But there's certain types of hadith in there which have breaks in the chain, where they were criticized for, not because they necessarily were not sound or acceptable, but because they did not adhere to their claims at the beginning of their books that they only report hadith with connected chains from beginning to the end. So this hadith is the only hadith that Imam Muslim reports, has cites in his Sahih about praying one over the other. And that hadith comes through a companion by the name of Wa'il ibn Hujr. And the one who reports it from him is his son Alqamah ibn Wa'il. The ulama, the scholars of hadith, have said about Alqamah, is that Alqamah, his father died 6 months before he was born. So he actually never met Wa'il, his father, even though he reports on his authority. So there actually is a break in the chain of that particular hadith in the Sahih of Imam Muslim. There actually is a break there. And then Ibn Ibrahim al-Nakhai, he didn't accept the reports of Wa'il, who actually was a Sahabi, about the Prophet's prayer, because Wa'il was a Sahabi who lived in Yemen, in Hadramaut. He came to Medina, accepted Islam, and then left, and never saw the Prophet again after that. So for him, Ibrahim al-Nakhai said, any hadith which Wa'il is describing the Prophet's prayer, I don't accept it. Ibrahim was from the Tabi'een. And this is all is in Sahih Muslim, you know. So this is one aspect of sort of weakening the argument of those who argue for qaf. But on the other hand, you have, with regard to support the position of those who pray with their hands at the sides, there's a scholar known as Ibn Abi Shayba, and he has from the Tabi'een. He has a hadith collection called the Musannaf, the Sunnah of Ibn Abi Shayba, and in that particular collection, he has an entire chapter that he states those who used to pray with their hands at their sides. And this actually debunks the claim that Imam Malik only prayed that way because he was he was hurt, he was tortured. But he lists amongst the people who prayed with their hands at their sides, Ibrahim al-Nakhai, the one I just said to you. Al-Hasan al-Basri, he mentions al-Hasan also. He mentions Sa'id ibn Jubair. Sa'id ibn Musayyab also, who is considered to be the most knowledgeable of the Tabi'een. He mentions also Muhammad ibn Sirin, the one who was famous for the Ibn Sirin's Book of Dreams, also prayed that way. He mentions Abdullah ibn Zubair, the grandson of Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. He mentions also Abdullah ibn Zubair. Now, once in another narration it mentions that once the people saw Abdullah ibn Zubair praying a certain way, and they had questions about it, so they went to Abdullah ibn Abbas and they asked him about the prayer of Abdullah ibn Zubair. He said, whoever wants to see, Abdullah ibn Abbas said, whoever wants to see the prayer of the Prophet ﷺ, let him emulate the prayer of Abdullah ibn Zubair. And Abdullah ibn Zubair, he learned his salah from his grandfather Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, was given the impression that even Abu Bakr may have prayed with his hand at his side. And if Abu Bakr prayed with his hand at his side, and where did he learn his salah from? You know, from the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So there's enough indication that even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam prayed that way. The Shia, all of them pray with their hands at their sides. Not to make them a proof, but I'm just saying that there is some strong basis for this understanding of praying with your hands at the sides. Imam al-Awza'i, he said that, pray with like this or pray like that is okay. From the Tabi'een. Imam Sufyan al-Thawri, Adi ibn Hatim, Ibn Jurayj. These scholars from the Tabi'een, they all reported they pray with their hands at their sides. So the point at the end of the day is that no way is stronger than the other.